On a couple of occasions, I've had a chance to visit Celebration, Florida. It's basically Pleasantville, if you've ever seen the movie, except it's mostly in color. The place, I think, was designed by Disney. It was just built out of a swamp from a master plan, and it is very master planned. It's a new town. Everything goes right where it's supposed to go. Everything is designed to socially engineer traffic and humans and eyes to point the right way. It's a beautiful / fascinating / terrifying little town where I once got pulled over for the heinous crime of having dirt on my Jetta. They run a tight ship there in Celebration, Florida. Caesarea Maritima in the 1st century was the same kind of joint. It was built on the ruins of a place called Strato's Tower that existed a few hundred years earlier. A bunch of people had occupied communities or tried building outposts in this very nice little spot on the Mediterranean Sea, about 60 miles north and west of Jerusalem. The Greeks had an outpost there. The Maccabeans, as the Jewish kingdom that came before the time of Christ, they had an outpost there. Then the Romans took over and started to set up shop. They made a deal with Herod the Great, who decided to start a building project there. He named this new community after Caesar Augustus, who put him in charge. Herod's intent was to build a port that would rival the one in Alexandria, Egypt, and also to build the flashiest Roman-styled city in the Eastern Mediterranean. And by all accounts, by the time of Christ, this was a success. The place was hopping, had a population of probably around 50,000 people. All the things that you could get in Rome that were so cool, colosseums, hippodromes. It sounds like a place where people would wrestle hippos, but it's the place where horses run around, like in Ben-Hur, a big, long, giant horse track. They had one of those. You can still go there and see the ruins of it. And on top of that, there's this amazing artificial harbor. And if you go on Google Earth right now and zoom in on Caesarea, you can still see the harbor. You can see all the footings that Herod had put in there. And this was a big protected harbor, and it increased the trade between the Western Roman Empire and Judea enormously. And so this became a very important trade, financial, cultural, and government outpost, as it was also the seat of government for Judea for the Roman Empire. Caesarea Maritima would have been crazy cosmopolitan. Tons of different religious views there. People still practice the old Roman religions there. Obviously, Judaism would have been present, as well as a whole bunch of other Greek sects of worship for the old Greek gods, and even newer philosophical expressions of religion. In so many ways, Caesarea was the physical embodiment of the Roman occupation of Israel. The culture, the diversity, the trade, the presence of the military, the building something fresh on top of something old and putting a distinctive Roman stamp on top of it. All of these things would have symbolized something to Luke's original audience. Caesarea would have had connotations the same way San Francisco, Cheyenne, Wyoming, Lincoln, Nebraska, Dallas, Texas, Boston, Massachusetts all have connotations. There's ideologies and approaches to life that are embodied in each of those towns. So it is with Caesarea. This example to us means very little because it's just a pile of ruins at this point. But to the original audience, this would have said, here's the town that would be the most Gentile-ish of all the towns in Judea. And interestingly, this city is the place where God is going to break through and make it clear that the message of God and salvation and Jesus and all of this stuff is not just for the Jews, but it's for the Gentiles. It's a very appropriate city, just like if God was going to send a message today about what he thinks about the cowboy lifestyle, Cheyenne, Wyoming would be the right place to make that happen. Now you know some stuff about Caesarea Maritima. Hopefully that helps you understand Acts chapter 10 better, and hopefully it just makes you know more things about the world, because knowing stuff is better than not knowing stuff. I'm Matt Whitman. This is a 10-minute Bible Hour More to Think About episode. See you next time.